1 second. All right, I will now call this public hearing of the Baltimore County Council will now come to order. We are convening this hearing via WebEx. We're holding this public hearing pursuant to the provisions of Section 708 of the County Charter to hear public comments on the proposed county budget and fiscal year 2023. The budget is available for inspection on the Office of Budget and Finance page of the county's website. This public hearing is also being held pursuant to Section 11-1-102 of the County Code in order to hear comments with respect to Bill 30-22, which is to levy and impose a property tax for the taxable year of July 1, 2022, and to fix the rate of county taxation for such taxable year at $1.10 on each $100 of assessed valuation. Finally, this hearing is also being held pursuant to the provisions of Section 6-308 of the Tax Property Article of the Maryland Annotated Code regarding the constant yield tax rate. A copy of the constant yield tax rate advertisement is available for review. The county budget and county property tax rate are tentatively scheduled for adoption at 10 a.m. on Thursday, May 26, 2022. I will now read the rules of procedure for tonight's public hearing. Since this is a virtual public hearing, anyone wishing to speak should have registered online using the speaker registration form of the council's virtual session and hearings webpage prior to the hearing. The link to this page is in the yellow alert box on the council's website. Each registered speaker will be permitted up to 3 minutes to speak. And it is my understanding we have 2 speakers. And Ms. Belcastro, would you call the first speaker, please?
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our first speaker registered this evening is Lori Taylor Mitchell. Ms. Taylor Mitchell?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, County Council members. I'm Dr. Lori Taylor Mitchell, and I'm president of the Student Support Network. I'm here tonight again to request your advocacy to support full funding for the Summer SNAP for Children program in the county budget. This program helps our most vulnerable children by providing critical food assistance during times when hunger and food insecurity are at their worst. The cost per child is just $100 a year added to the family's pre-existing SNAP account. The proposed county budget allocates $333,000 to support Summer SNAP for Children, and when combined with matching state funding, benefits about 10,000 children. This is a significant improvement over last year when just 450 children received support from the program. This increase is welcome news, but it falls short of a fully funded program and leaves out more than 50,000 children. Over 80% of all eligible children would receive no assistance. We provided testimony in support of full funding for Summer SNAP for Children at every county district budget hearing. The Baltimore County PTA, as well as the Randallstown NAACP, which advocates for African Americans, other minorities, and families confronting poverty throughout the county, also support fully funding Summer SNAP for Children. Again, we are very appreciative of the decision to match the state funding and assist about 10,000 children this year. But again, 50,000 children do not receive any funding in the proposed budget. With food prices up 10% already this year, how will these 50,000 children be adequately nourished this summer living in families at this level of extreme poverty? A family of 4 cannot earn more than $34,450 a year to qualify for SNAP. As anyone living in our county knows, the actual cost of living for a family of 4 here is much higher. The 50,000 additional children benefiting from full funding for Summer SNAP include those who hoard food in their lockers for the weekend during the school year They cannot save food from summer meals or from school meals in the summer. It would help those who are homeless, doubled up with families and relatives who do not have enough money for food. If a child has enough food, the remaining family resources might be used enough to cover a pair of shoes or some clothing. We implore you to advocate for full funding for summer SNAP for children in the proposed budget and assist the tens of thousands of the most vulnerable children in our county facing hunger and food insecurity this summer. Thank you very much.
Ms. Mitchell, Ms. Lori Taylor Mitchell, we thank you so much for your comment, and we certainly appreciate your advocacy on this issue and all the great work you and the other volunteers have been doing around providing for the least of thee in our community. Next speaker, Ms. Belcastro.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Our next speaker was Perla Hernandez, but Ms. Hernandez is not on this WebEx.
Well,
and also I want to note that on the speaker registration, she references the PAB, which I'm assuming maybe she signed up for the wrong meeting, but she was not on the work session either. So I'm not really sure. Just wanted to note that.
well,
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry.
yes. No, go right ahead.
Right. Ms. Hernandez had I think, signed up to testify on the PAB bill to say that, to advocate for adequate funding, which I think is why she signed up for the budget hearing. And while we were when we were going overtime on the work session, I communicated both with Ms. Lori Taylor Mitchell and Ms. Hernandez to let them know that we would start at 6:30. And then I just got an email from Ms. Hernandez that said, "Do you know what time the meeting is? Because I'm wearing it. Thanks." And so I told Ms. Hernandez we're on right now and to connect, right away.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. Number one, I appreciate people calling in. Like I said, we had 28 callers about Police Accountability Board. And this here is everything else we do in government and how we're going to spend the $4.8 billion. So the other people, I think I see 32 people on the call. If you want to make a comment while we wait for Ms. Hernandez, or if you have something to say, I'm going to take a point of privilege and say, raise your hand. We will give you an opportunity to say something if you have anything you'd like to add about our budget.
I don't think they have the capability of raising their hand, but they can certainly put something in the chat to let us know that they want to say something.
Okay. I think one other time we had a situation where we had actually no one. And I was on the dais. The room was full of people and not one person wanted to speak on the budget. And I said, I'm asking, please tell us something about this money. Tell us something. And we could not get anyone. So,
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to make the comment that there were 7 budget hearings with the county executive in each district where people were given the opportunity to let the administration know and let us know what their priorities are. So I know that the 3rd district meeting was well attended, and I assume the rest of them were as well. So I think, unlike when we were first elected, I think there's been a lot more public input now than there was then. So anyhow, thank you.
You're absolutely right, Councilman Katcher. Absolutely, positively right. And the other time I did it was when we didn't have the public hearings. But you're right. We went to every district, county executive did, and heard from many residents. So maybe that's why we don't have that much participation tonight.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Councilman Patel here. Since there's no other speakers, I have a 7 o'clock meeting that I believe I can make if I start to move now. It's in person. So I'm going to ask to be excused if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I'm the same way as well.
Okay. Ms. Belcastro, anybody want to say anything?
No, Mr. Chair, no one has responded in the chat.
Okay. Well, that'll wrap it up. Thank you, everyone. Everyone be safe. Thanks to everybody who participated and everybody that's watching. And have a great evening. And God bless you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.